Hey everybody, I'm the researcher for this week, and this week's topic is standardized testing. After reading all about formative, summative classroom assessments, I found it really interesting to be reading about standardized testing in with all the knowledge that we have about test validity and pros and cons of different types of assessments. So when viewing it through those eyes, I read through the text and then found an article that I really liked because it really focused on um, practical applications for teachers and concerned parents when thinking about standardized tests. So this article is called, and I'll put the link to this in my post, but it's called When Testing Takes Over. And I liked this article because of this one quote. Ironically, one of the many harms inflicted by excessive high stakes testing is that it has undermined the main benefits of good standardized testing. So, kind of what I've come to terms with this week in my kind of view of it is standardized testing has almost gotten a bad rap because of the ways that it's used, or the way that it has impacted teachers' own practices in their classroom. And that's what this article touches on. So I'll let you read it yourself, but some of the things that I really liked and stood out to me were standardized tests themselves are not the problem. The problem is the misuse and sometimes outright abuse of testing. And its goal is to improve instruction, not to hold teachers accountable. And that was the original goal of standardized testing. Um, it's not meant to undermine the main belief of good standardized testing. And one of the interesting things that I kind of went into like the wormhole of the internet and started to like do a ton of research on this, but score gains have been 3 to 6 times as large as real gains of achievement, which I found really interesting about like the validity of the test score result. Along with that, there's a section on here that talks about what is an accountability system that works, what should parents and teachers be advocating for, and on here was a term that I had never heard before, which I also looked into, was Campbell's Law. And if you look, I'll put this one on there too, but this is a really cool article about education reform and how you need to look at it in terms of Campbell's Law. And one of the examples on here was about police departments and speeding tickets. So if the expectation is for police officers is, hey, like you're doing a really good job if you have this many speeding tickets, they're not necessarily going to be finding more people that deserve speeding tickets. They might just be giving out more speeding tickets. Or if they're the opposite as well, if they are told that they're a good police officer, if they don't have a lot of police tickets or speeding tickets, or they're saying that the town is safer because there's not as many speeding tickets, then they could possibly be letting people go by. So in here, what a lot of the article is reading about is talking about how we need to make sure that we are testing students for their overall knowledge and not just of one specific goal that we have, because that data may be skewed. And connecting this to our reading, let me pull this on here. There was discussion about how there is a difference between the level of effort associated with constructing standardized tests and constructing classroom tests. So what really goes into it, these for-profit companies are putting a lot of work into it, and there is a lot going on. But then when you read this article, it's talking a lot about how policymakers make up programs that they think will work and impose things on schools without trying them first, and how they don't open up their data to scrutiny. So really, I think some of us have seen this, or talked about this with our coworkers. Your district or your state buys into an idea or a key hot word without really thinking about it or trying it out, and then doesn't necessarily go through with seeing if it's working and monitoring what teachers are doing with that information. But I can go on all day about this, but I think I'm already over my time limit. So I'm going to go ahead and post these two articles for you, a little bit of a summary about how I found that they connected, and then feel free to post in the comments and tell me what you thought about the article, or tell me what you thought about how they connected, or your opinion, or whatever you want to add to the conversation. I look forward to hearing from all of you.